Welcome to the next video in my Dutch tool chest series. Do you see all the tool racks there in the picture that are holding up all my tools? Well, this video I'm going to show you how I made all of those.
Next up, I'm working on the interior of the tool chest. So what I've done here is made a tool rack. So the idea is this will go on the back wall of the tool chest, which I'll show shortly. It just screws on. Here's some screw holes. And all of like my chisels and other kind of smaller tools like that will go into this rack. So I've mainly done 1/2-inch holes. I don't know if you can see that there, but there's a few holes like over here that are a little bit wider. That's for like big chisels and things that are a little bit wider. But for the most part, it's just 1/2-inch holes on with 1 1/4 distance between them, between the centers of the holes, and that's it. They just are holes for tools. All right, so here's the modification to my tool rack. So you can see this wider piece here, and I've bored out some holes here for various squares and bevels and things like that. Hammer will go here, and a mortising gauge will go in this hole.
Well, the holes in the tool rack are a little bit ugly, but once you have all the tools in it, doesn't really matter. Here it is in the tool chest, mounted up with all the tools. Next up, I need a way to kind of keep my bench planes corralled in that top compartment. So here I'm cutting out some strips of wood to use as a little frame to hold the planes in.
Okay, so I've got it pretty much done here. So here's how the bench planes will be positioned in it. Take those out now. So this will be like the front wall right here of the tool chest. The joiner plane will go here. And I was just putting these in to see if they fit, and they seem to. So here was the smoothing plane and the jack plane. And those also fit, and I kind of don't want to take it apart, but if you can kind of see there, see if I can get it out. Oh yeah, there we go. So what I did was I cut two, I guess this would be like a half bridle joint, sort of. I don't know, there's probably a more proper name for it, but I don't know what it is. So basically I cut these out, and I cut matching half cuts in these other thin pieces. They were extremely brittle, so I actually broke off a couple, but I don't think it'll really matter because I'm just going to glue these in together and then wait for them to glue. And I think they should be plenty strong enough when I'm done with that.
And here they are after gluing. They were very strong after they're glued up. I just had to be really careful since it's such thin wood to make sure everything was square.
Okay, so next up, I'm going to create the device that'll hold all the saws up in the tool chest. So this will make more sense once I show you it finally assembled, but for now the part I need to do is to make the saw kerfs that will actually hold the plate of each of the saws. So what I'm going to use this this cheap kind of department store or big box store handsaw. The reason for that is that it has a wider set and a wider saw plate, so it'll make the saws easier to get in and out. Then if I made the saw cuts with the actual saw, then it would be too tight and it'd be kind of inconvenient to pull in and out. So I'm just going to make 4 saw cuts in these 2 blocks, which are held together with clamps at the moment. And then we'll get to assembling the rest of it. It'll make more sense then. Alright, so this is the finished sawtill. So let me take the saws out. I have some extra room for expansion here, which I'll probably fill with other saws soon. So it's kind of ugly and dumb, but it works really well. So I just had some dowels lying around, so I basically used the dowels and glued them in to set the distance apart for the 2 pieces. And then I glued in 2 blocks here and here so that I could screw this to the bottom of my tool chest. And those are just glued in place. So all the joinery is not real solid, it's just glued. So not the strongest thing ever, but it really doesn't have to take much force. It just has to really hold itself up. So glue seemed fine to me. So that's it. Oh, I forgot to mention it has these little cutouts here. This is because this is the part that's going to go up against the tool rack. So this will leave space for like chisels and whatever else to hang here.
And the last item to make is a rack to hold my 2 large saws. So the idea here is I've basically got 3 strips of wood and I need to cut 2 slots in them so that I can slide those large saws into the rack. After the slots were cut, I just had to glue both of them up, and I left out of the video, but I had to cut a curve on each end of these racks so that I could basically put a screw through the ends into the underside of the lid. And here's the end result with all of the racks and things mounted inside the tool chest and the tools installed. Hope you like this, and thanks for watching.